Lots of excitement in the strongman world as we build towards the Arnold Strongman Classic, but there has been lots of other strongman action happening this week, so let's check it out. Right, a couple of days early this week, Lizzie, as we do fly to America tomorrow. Looking forward to the Arnolds. But lots has been happening. Lots of announcements, lots of incredible feats of strength. There's competition results. Let's dive into it.
So starting off then, the Rogue Invitational have announced a change in venue, and quite the change as well.
I was shocked at this as well.
I know. So it's been held in Austin, Texas, and they are moving to Aberdeen, Scotland. The competition this year is slightly later than the last couple of years. It's being held on the 8th to the 10th of November. It is an indoor arena. Anyone who's been to Scotland in November will know why that's really important. But yeah, big changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's been at the Rogue Invitational has been in Texas for the last few years, every year that it's been as a strongman event.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised to see this change. It's great for the British fans, especially the Scottish fans. The Scottish fans are going to enjoy some action-packed strongman this year. Some big events happening in Scotland, and none bigger than the Rogue Invitational.
Well, you know, we are very lucky in the UK because we get the Giants live shows here, but when you think about the absolute pinnacle, like the biggest competitions, World's Strongest Man, the Arnolds, you would put Rogue Invitational into that list now. They're not here. They never have been here. So I know the Americans, the fans are going to be disappointed, although Scotland's a lovely place to visit if you can
Yeah,
get
if you
over.
want a holiday, you know, Scotland's a beautiful place. But yeah, that's the first big competition announcement this week.
And that kind of leads us into announcement number 2. So the Magnus Classic is being held in November, and they've decided to push back 1 week. So that will now be held from the 22nd to the 24th of November because they didn't want to be too close in dates.
Yeah, makes sense. And the Magnus Classic, a big competition, improving every year.
Yeah, it's a fun
Obviously,
one.
it's not the level of the Rogue Invitational, but so many fans really enjoying the Magnus Classic, especially that rustic look that it has to it. So it'll be interesting to see what Magnus has up his sleeve for this year's contest.
Yeah, I think it's just people like the fact that it's different to the other competitions. It's very earthy, isn't it?
Indeed.
Earthy, yes. So in that little cluster then, we have on the 16th of October, the Giants Live World Tour Final in Scotland. Then we have the Rogue Invitational a few weeks after. I think it's 3 weeks later. And then after that, we have the Magnus Classic. So lots going on. And it's really nice that the World Tour Final and the Rogue Invitational are further apart. They've been a week apart, like for the last couple of years, which has affected the lineups possibly.
Yeah, it gives the athletes just a few more recovery weeks, very much needed. They're pros, they get on with it, but they're thankful when they do have that extra recovery. So last weekend we had the first SCL contest of the year, and Ivor Schmaxless does what he does. He won another competition. That man's list of SCL wins has to be up there with the best of all time.
Oh yeah.
There can't be many people that have won more SCL competitions than Ivor's. However, Nick Wortham from the USA took second place in his first ever international competition. So amazing performance there. Congratulations to Nick. And then we had Kane Francis coming in third. Another podium for Kane. He's improving again. Had a good year at the Champions League last year. Starting things off in great form.
So there was another exciting announcement last weekend, and this time it was from Giants Live, and it was in relation to the Deadlift World Championships, which will be held in Vegas later on this year. And it was kind of a "We Want You" type poster, and there was a picture of Graham Hicks, who won the Deadlift Championships last year, and Lucy Underdown, who broke the women's world record, saying, "Do you think you could break a world record? Let us know. You know, open entry, not open entry, but." Tag us in your deadlifts.
If you think you're good enough, basically tag Giants Live on Instagram and show them what you're capable of. Now, I haven't spoken to Giants Live yet, and I will. Once we're back from Arnold's, I'll definitely speak to them. But what I take from this is that they want the open record broken. I don't believe that they're after weight class records.
No.
So, I mean, I had a few of my own clients message me and said, is it worth me trying to kind of enter some of the under 105 guys and under 90 kilo guys that I train? And I'm taking from this that it is aimed at the 501 kilo record that stands right now. They want to see 505. They're looking for athletes that are capable of lifting over 1,000 pounds. That's what they're after.
Yeah, you're probably right. And I've seen a lot of the same thing. I mean, not long after the announcement, my whole Instagram feed is full of people with these massive deadlifts. And there are some very impressive things, like Rhiannon Lovelace as an example. She wants to go and be the first person to lift a 5-time bodyweight deadlift, but sure, like you said, we don't know if they are specifically looking for those open weight records.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you're around the 300 kilo mark for a woman and around the 1,000 pound mark for a man, by all means, get your videos up there, because we want to see. And there are some freaks out there that are, and I mean freaks in the best way, but there are some freaky lifters that just are capable of amazing things. There's a couple of people I know and I follow on Instagram that I've sort of tagged in and said, you've got to get yourself entered in this. We've seen a few people kind of put themselves forward already, but I think realistically they're looking for that 1,000 pound or more. So if you're a 400 kilo deadlifter, a 420 kilo deadlifter, that's fantastic. But I would hold back a little bit just yet. You want to be doing a bit more than that before throwing your name in there, because the Giants Live team are going to be, they're going to have so many messages thrown at them, aren't they?
Have so many. They can't bring everyone, can they?
Well, it's got to be the top guys. That's what they're after.
Of course, yeah. And that leads us very nicely into our next piece, which is Matt Ragg coming in, swooping in there right after this announcement, I should point out, with a 460 kilo deadlift with what looked like...
more in the tank.
Yeah, definitely more in that tank.
More in the tank. I mean, Matt Ragg, we all know how good he was last year.
Yeah.
Had a great year, showing that he is one of the strongest deadlifters right now on the planet. 460 kilos, and it did not look like a max effort lift.
No, it didn't.
There is more in the tank. I look forward to seeing him get his invite to the Deadlift World Championships and potentially what he could lift. I think the guy's capable of at least 480.
Yeah,
looking at he's up around that mark. Yeah. And now with focused training, I mean, the top guys do have a lot of competitions between now and then, which maybe distracts a little bit from that record.
But there are going to be a couple of guys specifically training just for this deadlift. Graham Hicks and Rauno Hainler, the last two winners of them.
And there's so many other fantastic deadlifters out there in the world of powerlifting. Yeah. You know, people that just specialise on the deadlift that won't be doing some other competitions. Obviously, you know, we've seen so many big lifts over the last sort of 5-6 years. Who knows? Wouldn't it be cool to have 10 or 12 athletes that all go over 1,000 pounds?
That'd be really cool. But I think Matt Ragg has definitely put himself on that invite list.
100%.
So as we mentioned, it's the Arnolds this weekend and athletes have started travelling to Ohio. So we've seen Instagram stories from people like Alexei Novikov, Tom Stoltman, Thor Bjornsson, Kyriakos Grizzly filling up a plane on his way to the Arnolds, not to compete in the Strongman, but you can meet him there.
We need to get a photo of Kyriakos Grizzly.
Yes, 100%. I'm getting in his queue.
And as we mentioned, we're going to be off to the Arnolds tomorrow, so we will bring as much behind-the-scenes action as we can for you guys.
And finally, World's Strongest Man have confirmed 2 more athletes for this year's competition. So first up was Rob Kerney. Now, Rob placed 4th at the Strongman World Open last year in Cardiff. He was actually tied for 3rd place with Shane Flowers on points, but because of the last event rule, Shane beat him on stones. He was bumped down to 4th. Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing Rob at World's Strongest Man. Always an entertaining athlete. Very, very strong. He's got some events he excels at. He's one of those athletes, given the right events, he can really, really do well. World's Strongest Man has not been his best playground to show what he's capable of. But I've heard events are changing this year for World's Strongest Man. If they put some of his best ones in there, he is a problem for anyone.
And I'm sure by the time this video goes out, there's probably going to have been more announced, but so far all we have is Austin Andrade. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. And Austin, he won the RAW Classic Men's Open last year, so we're also going to see him at the main competition, the pro competition this year.
Austin is an absolute beast. He's another person I expect he's going to get an invite to the Deadlift World Championships. I think last year was, you know, it was his first year getting some international experience. He won one of the Champions League competitions, as you just said. He won the RAW Classic Open, competed in the World Open in Cardiff, did very, very well, and I'm just expecting to see even more improvements from him this year. An absolute beast of a man.
He reminds me of Trey. You know, he's Trey-esque.
Strong,
cool,
just a beast.
Calm, strong, beastly.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem. The guy keeps getting better. I think with the experience he's had, I wouldn't want him in my group at World's Strongest Man. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember, like, share and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.